Sometimes the most important financial questions come when everything around you is quiet. You're sitting at your desk in the evening, reviewing your retirement accounts or investment portfolio, maybe with a lukewarm cup of coffee at your side. It's not panic, it's not exhilarating. It's a subtle pause, the kind of moment where your mind whispers, "Am I truly on track? Am I making my money work hard enough for the life I want?" That small moment is where awareness begins. My name is Anderson, and I've spent over 15 years working with individuals and families, observing how small choices compound into transformative outcomes. What I've learned is that the most powerful financial moves are rarely flashy, they are quiet, deliberate, and almost invisible until their results reveal themselves. Here's the thing. Most people think multiplying retirement savings requires extreme risk, lucky stock picks, or starting with enormous capital. They see headlines touting millionaires in their 20s or five-figure gains overnight and assume wealth begins with spectacle. But the truth is more subtle and far more reliable. There's a threshold in retirement planning that, once crossed, transforms the relationship you have with your money. It's not magic. It's a combination of strategy, time, and disciplined execution. And crossing it changes everything. The turning point usually comes unexpectedly. You've been contributing steadily to your accounts, reinvesting dividends, and consistently avoiding impulsive moves. One day, you notice something. The same contributions and market returns that once felt modest now begin to accelerate your growth. Your account balance isn't just increasing, it's compounding visibly with momentum you didn't realize was building. That's the invisible threshold. It's the point where your money starts working harder than you do, where small, patient actions multiply into outcomes that once seemed out of reach. Before that threshold, your financial decisions are dominated by survival mode. Every expense feels consequential, emergencies seem catastrophic, investment volatility feels like an immediate threat rather than a natural feature of long-term growth. Scarcity rules your mindset. You're constantly calculating, adjusting, and second-guessing, often with little clarity. The world feels narrow, and mental bandwidth is consumed by worry. After the threshold, the shift is subtle but profound. That same market volatility no longer triggers panic. Unexpected bills, career transitions, or healthcare costs are still challenges, but they become manageable, optional, and even strategic. Financial decisions move from reactive to intentional. Money becomes a tool, not a master. Opportunities emerge where fear once ruled. The world hasn't changed, but your perception of it has. Let's put this into realistic terms. Imagine a retiree with $300,000 in savings at age 55. They contribute $15,000 per year and invest in a diversified portfolio averaging 7% annual growth. Within 20 years, that account can quietly surpass $1.5 million, not through speculation, not through luck, but through consistent action and the compounding of time. The numbers themselves are straightforward. What's extraordinary is how long it takes to recognize that the compounding was working all along, quietly building the foundation for freedom. The psychological transformation is as important as the financial one. In survival mode, fear dominates, and every decision feels heavy. In growth mode, fear diminishes. Decisions are made from a position of optionality, not necessity. Small expenses lose their disproportionate psychological weight. Coffee, streaming subscriptions, or a weekend getaway become trivial compared to housing, career moves, healthcare planning, and investment strategy. Discipline becomes easier, delayed gratification feels natural, and trust in one's own judgment deepens. Big decisions start to replace small ones. Housing choices, career moves, transportation, and long-term investments dominate focus. The person who has crossed the threshold begins to operate strategically. They negotiate with leverage, choose opportunities that align with long-term goals, and understand the concept of walking away money, the power to pause, to say no without fear, and to act intentionally rather than reactively. Posture, confidence, and clarity alone influence outcomes in ways that small accounts never could. Yet, reaching this milestone comes with its own subtleties. Lifestyle inflation can erode gains faster than market downturns. A retiree with $1.5 million might feel tempted by luxury cars, bigger homes, or extravagant vacations. Each impulsive choice carries an opportunity cost, stealing potential freedom from decades of future financial optionality. The milestone is not a reward, it is a foundation. Treat it as a seed. Discipline, patience, and thoughtful design ensure that freedom grows rather than dissipates. Acceleration becomes visible over time. Compounding doesn't end at the threshold, it amplifies. $1.5 million becomes $2 million, $2.5 million, $3 million. The same steady, patient contributions compound geometrically. The visible results feel disproportionate to the daily effort because growth was quietly building all along. This is why patience, consistency, and a calm, disciplined approach outperform frantic attempts at quick wins. The identity shift is profound. Those who reach this threshold become someone different. Money ceases to dominate their thoughts. Decisions are made in terms of impact, freedom, and long-term design rather than fear of scarcity. Stressful events that once felt overwhelming now present choices. Take action, pause, or observe. The same market drop that would have triggered panic 10 years ago now becomes a calculated adjustment. Financial resilience and mental clarity go hand in hand. Career dynamics shift as well. Offers, contracts, and negotiations are approached from a position of confidence, not desperation. The ability to walk away becomes real leverage. Decisions that once required compromise can now align fully with long-term goals. Strategic influence, patience, and presence compound over time, just as consistently as the portfolio itself. Opportunity cost reframing becomes intuitive. Every spending decision is weighed against decades of potential optionality. A $50,000 car, a second vacation home, or an unnecessary lifestyle upgrade is no longer simply expensive. It is a reduction of future freedom, subtle but significant. The discipline lies in choosing deliberately, in preserving potential, and in designing life over reacting to impulses. Finally, the quiet power of crossing this threshold is the ability to design life intentionally. Housing, transportation, investments, healthcare, and even relationships are approached with strategic clarity. Mental bandwidth, emotional resilience, and financial optionality compound in ways that transform everyday life. Emergencies are no longer crises, they are inputs into deliberate evaluation. Money is no longer a source of anxiety, but a tool to shape choices. In conclusion, the secret retirement hack is not about discovering a magical investment or a high-risk opportunity. It is about consistent action, patient compounding, and crossing the invisible threshold where money begins to work harder than you do. It's the quiet accumulation, the disciplined contributions, and the strategic patience that create freedom, clarity, and optionality. Every decision you make today, how much to save, how you invest, what you choose to spend becomes a gift to your future self. So remember, this strategy isn't about immediate gratification. It's about laying the foundation for a retirement where your money serves you, freedom expands naturally, and life-level choices replace reactionary stress. My name is Anderson, and the steps you take now define the control, clarity, and peace of mind your future self will quietly thank you for. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next video.